Boom, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Big up to the ER crew, the early regulars in the building. Spook Realm 4Q, you are first as usual. So let's get the PSA out of the way real quick. First, if you don't have the book, if you're new to the channel, pick up the book. My brother's name is Kenny. It's the true origin story of KRS-One, Kenny Parker, BDP. There's a lot of behind the scenes stories in there. We talk about it every week. I want to make sure everybody has the book so when we talk on this channel, a lot of the questions that you guys have, we already have covered it in the book. The link is in the description below. Number two, please hit the thumbs up when you get a chance. It helps the algorithm so we can get more like-minded people into the channel. And I hope that our girl Tracy will remind us at some point during the course of the evening. And last but not least, big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out later on. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger so I can see. Gregory Nettis, what up? Today in hip hop history, Tragedy Gaddafi, aka Intelligent Hoolin, released his self-titled debut album in 1990. Shout out to Tragedy. I had a chance to produce him on a song with KRS-One that was supposed to be on the KRS-One album called Maximum Strength. That was supposed to come out 1998, but didn't come out on Jive. Then the next time Chris dropped the album, I believe, was 2000 on Koch Records, and that was Sneak Attack. And the song that I did, I think it was called Ghetto Lifestyles. Ghetto Lifestyles off the Sneak Attack album. They took Gaddafi's part off and just left KRS. So I had produced Tragedy, but he didn't make the cut for some reason. Shout out to him. Let me get some shout outs in. Rosmel, what up? Today in rap history, Ghetto Boys released their fourth album, We Can't Be Stopped, in 91. I saw the Ghetto Boys in 1990. I've told this story before on on this channel at the New Music Seminar. 1990, they came out. They were already very popular in their area, but they came to New York. They came out and got booed in New York City. I remember that. I was there. The following year, I was there once again, but this time they had the massive, probably, I think the source gave it single of the year. It probably was the single of the year. My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. And they came out again. This time, they blew the roof off the New Music Seminar. 1 year later, so shout out to the Ghetto Boys. I got to meet Bushwick Bill briefly. I think it was '08 before he passed. And I got to meet Scarface a couple times. Shout out to Face Mob. He's one of my favorite MCs of all time. Doesn't get mentioned enough for his greatness. B-Ball says, KP, did you see the Kawhi trade to Toronto has been put on hold while the NBA investigates the Clippers? Yeah, but they've been investigating the Clippers for a whole year now. What's the problem now? Dude played a whole season. The Clippers were under investigation, I believe. Was it the start of last season or sometime during the course of the beginning of last season? At some point, make a decision, bro. That would be terrible if they made a trade, and I think that trade is going to go through. But if it'd be terrible if they made a trade and then it gets rescinded because now Toronto didn't get what they want. Kawhi didn't get what he wants, and now he has to go back to a team who he left. Ugliness. I think they'll fix that up. What up, Tracy? Uh, let's see. I'm gonna try to move quick. Sydney Rhodes, what up? I say this every week, and every week I get signed behind. People, I love my Lakers signing Kevin Looney as a backup to Kessler. It could be interesting. Kevin Looney, a lot of these guys seem like they've been around forever, but they're not really that old. Just as they fell from prominence. Their roles on their team was diminished very quickly. We can see if Kevon Looney, um, can have a better role on the Lakers. All he has to do, if you're big on the Lakers, all you have to do, set the pick for Luka or Austin Reeves and roll to the basket, wait for the lob. If not, on defense, help out, get a block or two and grab boards. It's a simple job. You're not asked to do a lot. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Latrice Washington, what's up? Good evening. Dre Stack Dollars, what up? MMA Crossfire, what up? Um, let's see. Oh, wow, Dre Stack Dollars. Say a prayer for my pops. It's not looking too well. However, the Most High has the final say. Absolutely. And yes, a prayer from the Kenny Parker Show goes out to your pops. Losing anybody that you love, a family member, is always tough, but somebody like your mom and your pops is extra tough, Dre Stack Dollars. And you're right, the Most High has the final say for all of us. And every day that we're here is a blessing. And every day that you got to spend with your pops was a blessing. And if he's still here, you still have time to spend with him. And absolute prayer from the Kenny Parker Show, sending out to your pops. Henry Sedillo, what up? JT, what up? Icon Port, happy Friday, KP. It seems to me that if a hip hop song makes you feel happy or want to dance, some people don't want to consider it to be real. That's a very good topic, and I struggle with this topic all the time. As you guys know, I on this channel, I don't believe in fake, real, dope, whack, should have, could have. Um, Everything, music is so subjective. What's real to one person is fake to another person, and vice versa. I don't believe in the real hip hop and all that stuff. And that's one of the things with me and my brother. We don't differ, but we have different opinions because he's very vocal about the real hip hop is over here. I think whatever way you express yourself is real to you. Um, and I don't want everybody to sound the same. I don't want everybody to be just like this guy because this is the real and we all just sounding like this. I want to hear everything. I want to hear Miami bass, whatever Luke and them doing in Florida. Let me hear that. Let me hear what they're doing out in Texas in the Fifth Ward. Let me hear Ghetto Boys. Let me hear New York. Let me hear Washington. Let me hear DC. Let me hear LA. Let me what they G Funk. I was watching a whole thing, a whole interview on Warren G yesterday. I spent like an hour and a half on a Warren G rabbit hole. Shout out to Warren G, whom I've never met. I want to hear G Funk era. I want to hear Atlanta. I want to hear everything, and I'll decide what I like. Yeah, a lot of people have problems with feel good music. A lot of those people, I don't know if they've ever been in a club and had a really good time in a party, a real party with men and women dancing together. I don't know. I feel you, Icon Poet. I have a lot of mixed emotions about that. Um, Sweet Goldilocks, what's up? Um, Bebo Jones, okay, OKP. I saw the recent epic fail, and that was awesome. Thank you guys so much. I just dropped the epic fail. What day was that? Wednesday. It's epic fails. This is, I think I'm up to epic fail number 26. 26 stories. I know everybody watching this has seen all 26. But the latest one is about the late, great, big pun. Um, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, please go check it out. Uh, Funny story. And I'm working on another one. I think I got another epic fail that I might drop in maybe next week. I have to record it. You know, somebody asked me in the comment section, "Do you ever talk about epic wins?" And yeah, I mean, I've had a bunch of epic. My whole life has been an epic win. I've had, but in the industry, I've had wins. You know, I'm not the type of person who likes to brag all the time about certain things, but I do talk about, you know, when things have gone well. I've done this, I've done that, and we talk about a lot of stuff. And even, you know, videos that I've put out, I cover a lot of things. But I also like to tell you guys about most people on the internet do not talk about when hip hop goes wrong. You know, the internet, social media, and the internet is like a highlight reel of people's lives. It's not real. You're only getting one half of the story. Everybody is a superhero in their own story. Um, and I watch people tell stories, and they was just dope. In every situation that ever happened, they were just amazing. And everything they ever thought was perfect. And that's not how it goes. And that's why I started the Epic Fail series, just to let you guys see how a lot of times things go wrong either because you make the wrong decision, and I admit I made a wrong decision here, or sometimes just circumstances. Like with the epic fails big pun, you'll see that it was just a circumstance that ended up making it an epic fail. It wasn't my fault, it's just how it happened. Um, but I say all that to say, and I find a lot of these things humorous. That's why most of my epic fails, I kind of find them funny. And I want you guys to get a little chuckle out of it and just get a little behind the scenes. But I could tell you stories of when things went great. I don't know if I would call it epic wins. I don't know if I would call it that. Maybe I'd call it something else. But for me personally, in the music industry, I've had a few highs and a lot of lows. It's like okay, there's like a baseline of the music, my life in the music industry, which is pretty good. Then you have a few highlights and some lowlights. That's how I look at it, like a roller coaster. And it's been a lot of disappointment and a lot of what could have been. And that's why I put those out there for you guys to see. And I always talk about how I was not mentally prepared as an artist for the lowlights of the music industry. And I wish I could go back into those same situations with a more business mind. I would have had more success, but I wasn't thinking like that. So I say all that to say, um, thank you, B-Boy Jones, for enjoying the epic fail. And I hope you guys check it out. Uh, K-Ron Arnold, what up? Were you hanging with Chris when he did Steady Be Serious remix? I've mentioned that on this channel before. Are you new to the channel? If so, welcome. Um, I came to the studio at that time. That was 1989, like early '89, I believe, when they shot that video. 'Cause I believe they shot that video, the video for that, at the same time that they shot Jack of Spades video. So I believe it was like '89. I was not in BDP yet. That's about 6 months before I joined the group. But I used to come to the studio all the time just to check out uh, my brother, see what was going on. So I remember coming to the studio and they were finished recording that song and they were mixing it. And Steady B was there, D Nice was there, Chris was there, of course. Um, I believe DJ Doc was there. Can't remember who else. A few of the BDP crew members, and they were just cracking a lot of jokes. They was going in on Steady B. I can't remember what it was about, but it was real funny. So it looked like they either knew each other already or they just had a rapport in the studio, but it was a lot of jokes. Um, so I was there towards the mixing part of that. I didn't see the recording. Okay, let's see. I'm behind now, of course. The real Chef Daddy, what up? Um, these nuts. Says, yeah, I remember seeing you for the first time down at Newark Symphony Hall carrying crate for KRS. And then I met up with you years later underneath the Twin Towers coming from the PATH train. Yeah, that's me. Those would be both. If you saw me at Newark Symphony Hall carrying crate, that means I was already the DJ for BDP. So that means really I was carrying my own crates at that point. 'Cause I remember Newark Symphony Hall. That was like 1990. I was just starting to be the DJ for BDP. So what up, these nuts? These nuts. Philly Sheed, what up? Uh, Let me jump down a little bit. I hate being behind. Y'all have no idea. Derek Mallory, what up? Says Face Mob. Absolutely. We love Scarface on this channel. Scarface has an incredible discography. Yes, he does. And he has a different vibe. Like, you don't listen to Scarface for the party. Scarface is not the club guy. He is the guy when you're riding in the car and you're just chilling and your mind is just going, do you start listening to that? He's that guy. I have different hip hop for different events in my life. Joey Joe, what up? Lisa Full says, damn, I've heard a lot of stories in entertainment where people fell off the stage while performing. You think that would be super rare, for that to happen, but I guess not. No, you can definitely lose track of where the stage is and fall off. Especially a lot of people fall forward. I remember we did a show and they had so much smoke machines. What they have is the lighting people have a smoke machine there so that they put up smoke so that when the spotlights come out, it catches the smoke and it makes it look like a beam. Without the smoke machine, the spotlights would hit differently. So the reason why you guys can see the spotlights and it looks like columns is because there's a smoke machine. Usually they let it off way early, but this one, I remember we did a show and there was so much smoke as Chris and Willie D, shout out to Will from BDP, rest in peace. There was so much smoke that Will couldn't see it. He fell. He was like, y'all ready for BDP? Badoo, 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 badoo. Yo, we was rolling, and it's on camera. But yeah, it happens enough. It happens enough that it's not rare. B-Ball says, I like the new logo, KP. Thank you so much. Shout out to my man, John, who hooked me up with that. I'm going to let that rock for a little while. Jay says, because that was a good epic fail, Lethal. Pun falling off the stage is crazy. Yeah, pun falling off the stage onto a woman is crazy. Onto Chris's wife is crazy. I remember that show too. It was a little ass stage too up in the Bronx. It was BDP, it was Mad Lion, Fat Joe. Yep. Tracy said, I enjoyed that epic fail too. Thank you, Tracy. Bugger, what up? Um, Rosmel, what up? Maddie Gabe 94, what's up? Are you new to the channel? I don't recognize that name. Patrick Sargent, what up? Ilroy the MC, come down, Kenny Parker. Um, Patrick Sargent says, "Oh yeah, 1995 remix." Enough said. I have a hand in "Oh yeah," uncredited. I think I told this story. Chris came to my house. Chris used to come by my crib all the time back then, and we used to do work on routines or whatever, mess around with the SP 1200, all kind of stuff. And he came to my house one day and he was like, "Yo, I got this song I'm working on. I need some drums." And I found two records with some hard shit on it. And I said, "Yo, Chris, I just found this right here." And I played it for him. Boom, clack, boom, clack, like that. And he was like, "Oh, this is dope. Give me that." He was like, "Thank you." And he took off. And he ended up using those drums to make "Oh Yeah." Um, so I have a little hand in that record. Um, Ilroy the MC, thank you so much for the contribution to the channel. Says the new logo is dope. That needs to be the T-shirt. Thank you so much, Ilroy the MC. I posted up there. I'm gonna see, uh, what it do if it's the proper one, and if it's so, I will be making shirts out of that one. If so, um, if you guys would like a Kenny Parker shirt, if enough people would like one, I will definitely make them and get them out to people. Absolutely, absolutely, we will do that. Bebo says Mr. Grimm featuring Nate Dogg and Warren G. Indo Smoke was the first G Funk song I think I ever heard. Yeah, and that was a song that got Warren G his big deal. And I think him and Mr. Grimm ended up having beef and they got back together. Warren G has an interesting story, man. Um, and I like that his interviews, he's real smooth talking, but he's very candid. I like people that give information. Derek Mallory says Scarface is from Southside Houston, Texas, not Fifth Ward. My bad. I don't know anything about the neighborhoods of Texas. I just know they be shouting Fifth Ward, so I said Fifth Ward. No disrespect to anybody. I love Scarface. I don't know where he's from. I'm gonna stop saying Fifth Ward. Thank you. They say Fifth Ward so much, I thought that's what it was. Um, Bebo says, my whole life has been an epic win. I may borrow that, KP. Absolutely. I look at life as being, we're so blessed to be here, man. Um, I could go on, but every day that you wake up and you open your eyes, you are incredibly blessed. Um, as long as you're healthy, you're not in the hospital, none of your loved ones are in the hospital, it's a good day, man. CMC, what it be? Um, let's see. Um, trying to see if I think the epic fails show that you have a great attitude and know how to take things in stride. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I consider I just try to do something a little different than what everybody else is doing. I try to give you guys the truth, um, as much as I can, what I consider the truth, my truth, um, which is ups and downs, and how any the difference between having a gigantic hit and not, or being on a gigantic project and not, sometimes comes to a small decision that could be life changing, man. Yeah. Bobby W2 says, any new BDP music? KRS One just dropped a new video called "What Is the Message?" I think he dropped it last week. Check that out. What is the message? Oh yeah, JT, I saw this. The rock chick Bonnie Taylor passed this week. Any favorite tunes by her? Or Total Eclipse of the Heart was the one that I know. That was a huge record in the 80s. Turn around. She passed at age 75, which is not really that old, man. I know she had some other songs, but that's the one that I grew up with. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Huge, huge record. Um, I saw that she passed away. She had a real raspy voice. Dope. Isaiah says 1988 was a great year for hip hop, a pivotal year for hip hop, a game changing year for hip hop. MK Ultra says Steady B, tragic. Yeah, that whole story with Steady B and Cool C is tragic. Very tragic. Sue Grell says, big up to G Simone for surviving Big Pun falling on her. Yes. He was only 400 pounds at that point. I remember Big Pun used to come on stage and jump up and down. Even when he was like, we did a show with Big Pun. I think it was like an outdoor festival, like one of them summer jams, but it was in like San Francisco. It was Tribe, KRS, Cameron. He had Horse and Carriage. Is Horse and Carriage out? Horse and Carriage was like new. Horse and Carriage, Pun, DMX. So it had to be like 97 or 98. And maybe 98, because DMX was like the head, he was already huge. I think he was like the headline. And Pun was about 600 pounds at this point. But I remember he came out to that deep cover beat, something like that. And when the beat dropped, Pun started jumping in the air. And everybody said, oh, you saw Pun jumping? And the whole crowd just lost it. Um, Shout out to Pun. He was mad funny, but also mad dangerous. The Punisher in the streets was a very dangerous individual. Don't get it twisted. Uh, but also a dope MC and a funny dude, as you can see in his videos. Um, let's see. Um, Patrick Sargent says fool's gold. We could talk about that kind of stuff. That's a whole rabbit hole, man. Tyrone Lemon, what's up? I don't recognize that name. Are you new to the channel? What up? Um, Icon said Face has some joints that would bang in a club. Yeah, like Mr. Scarface was big. Funk Master Flex used to play Mr. Scarface a lot in the club in New York, and I used to bang. I'm not saying he doesn't have any, but here in New York, um, Mr. Scarface was the banger. And of course, my mind playing tricks on me. But most of his biggest hits were slow. You know, a minute to pray, a second to die. That wasn't that slow, but slow. I never seen a man cry. Those kind of records are not club records, but they're great records with great videos. Um, Patrick tells us it's easy to lie on the internet. So easy. Incredibly easy. And not only is it easy to lie on the internet, but you ever see that thing called the dead internet theory, which says that after like maybe like 2016, 17, most of the people on the internet are not even real. The majority of the internet are bots giving you fake information, fake replies to fake stuff, and then you throw in AI. And most of what we see is not even real. Most of the images, most of the videos that are made are not real. The narrators are AI, and then the comment section is all bots. So you don't even know what you're seeing. And add to that, you can on like something like Instagram, you could put up pictures and fake stuff of anything. People be having fake. There's planes that you could rent that you could just sit in. They don't fly; they just sit on the ground. And you could go in there and take pictures in the side of the jet and act like you in a private jet. Take pictures and leave, and then show people how you were in a jet about to go to Dubai or something. You're lying. It's all lies. I could be AI right now. It's so good you wouldn't even know. But you're right, it's so easy to lie on the internet. I look at the internet like Sports Center. It's the top 10 highlights of the game. I could pick you any NBA player and I could show you a top 10 highlight reel that would make you think that this dude is a top 10 player, top 5 player in the league. If I didn't tell you, you couldn't see his stats, so I didn't tell you what happened in the rest of the game. I didn't tell you that this highlight was in a blowout because he was in because the team was down 30. And I just showed you the highlights, you'd be like, yo, this dude right here is everything. It's all BS, man. Be very careful what you see on the internet and double check, fact check everything that you see. Whenever you see something on the internet like a news story, go and look on a reputable as we can get, what news site to see if they are reporting this as well. Because some things you see on the internet are so sensational. I'd be saying to myself, if this is real, this would be the biggest story of the day. Let me go look on a reputable site. And then I look and there's nothing. So I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. Imagine there's people that just sit around all day and just invent bullshit. What kind of person do you have to be to spend your whole day making up lies, convincing lies, and just putting them in the atmosphere? What a clown. Riding dirty face, what up? Silk Child, thank you as usual once again for your contribution to the channel. King's Son Fat Joe diss verse, I make a party bounce like a bad check. Oh, King's Son dissed Fat Joe. I make a party bounce like a bad check, and some brothers flex like they're the ones catching mad wreck. You couldn't catch a cold in the rain, so maintain before you be the next juvenile slain. King's Son said this to Fat Joe. I didn't even know they had beef. Is that what you're saying? King's Son dissed Fat Joe. Shout out to King's Son, who I'm cool with. Shout out to Joey Crack, who I'm cool with. Didn't even know they had beef. Or not. I mean, we'd have to fact check that. Um, let's see. Danielle Ladon Freeman, what up? I'm way behind. I'm way behind. Bill Shapiro, what up? Um, KP, were you around when KRS produced the song Must Stay Paid for Broadway? I was not around, but I was at the video shoot. Shout out to rest in peace to Broadway, who passed away. I was at the video shoot. Don't remember if I got in the video. I don't think I'm in the video, but I was definitely at the video shoot. I wasn't in the studio when they made the song. I wish Chris had continued to produce. He went away from making beats. I think that was a mistake. Never says, I'm actually shocked. Literally, nobody has posted your remix off the vinyl to YouTube at all, doing the good KP Dirty over here. No, no. Somebody. There's a C. Apparently, there was a CD promo. Somebody did post it on YouTube. There's a CD promo to the Yvette Michelle song. Chef Daddy says, make the Kenny Parker shirts. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Platform, what up? Says, hey Kenny, you get to hear the new Buckshot album called The Package. It dropped today. No. And I'm a huge Buckshot fan, one of my favorite MCs of all time and people. I was just chilling with him about 2 months ago. No, I will check that out. I saw that, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it. Um, I'm not that far behind. Let's see. Jack Swagger says, I'm not a player. I just crush it out. Has a whole new meaning. Yeah. Falling on Simone. I didn't see it. I was on stage, but I heard about it. It was right to my left, but I didn't see it. But I heard. Patrick Wise says, happy belated birthday, KP. Welcome to the 60s Club. Thank you so much, Patrick Y. My birthday was yesterday. Um, Bebo says he was a biscuit away from 500. Sadly, Big Pun, I think he got to 800 pounds. 800. And I think he went to Duke University. I think they have some kind of special program, a weight loss program at Duke University. I think they sent Big Pun there, and I think he lost some weight. That's why it's so sad. You can hear in the song, "It's so hard. You want to be like Pun, want to bust your nine. It's so hard." And he says, "I lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to live." Remember that? He got down to 700, but your heart just can't take that much. Um, he was trying to come back down, but it was too little too late. I mean, imagine 100 pounds being too little too late. Uh, Corey Flex says, Cool C and Steady B both should have gotten a penalty. It's tragic that policewoman lost her life. I'm not going to say who, I'm not the person to say who should get the penalty or not. Cool C got the penalty. Um, I believe he was in the chair and got a stay from the governor just a couple years back. Um, I think Steady B got life for being the getaway driver. Yeah, and a policewoman lost her life. They went all out, bro. That was a wild story, man. Who would have thunk it? KB Play, thank you so much. King Sun says he wrote Flojo. Wow. Really? Did he say that for real? I've never heard that. Fat Joe didn't write Flojo? That would be a scandal. You know how we've talked about ghostwriting so much on this channel. I'm not going to go down that road, but wow. I don't know if that's true, so I don't want to put that out there, but um, I saw somebody just put on here. I forgot to post that Jalen Brunson has surgery. I saw that on his shooting hand. That means his shooting hand was hurt the whole during the finals, and he still was incredible. And now he's gonna have surgery, but they said he'll be ready for training camp, so that's good. I did see that. Um, Marquise says, "I'm so mad for New York letting Mitchell Robinson leave like that. They couldn't afford him, man. They would have went over the luxury tax. They couldn't afford him, and he had to go get his money, man. I'm not mad at any professional player to go get their money. Can I just hold up, KP? Is that a new logo? Yes, my man hooked it up. I'm just trying to see if I like it or not, how it looks. So I'm just experimenting with it. Patrick Sargent says, "Don't talk smack in here, bro. I have no idea who you're talking about." Um, oh, let's see. Patrick Watts says, "I met Pun twice, both times in the Bronx. Once on Freeman Street at Fat Joe's 560 store, and at the Whitestone Movie Theater. The Whitestone Movie Theater. Both times he was sitting down. Joe, Remy, Cuban Links, and some goons." I see Fat Joe, not Fat Joe. I seen Pun once at an in-store on 34th Street, right across the street from Macy's. There used to be like a HMV, I think it was. I remember Big Pun. This is right before his album drop. Was sitting out there. He had an in-store, and he was sitting out there like outside, and people were just walking by. He was signing autographs. I'm like, look at Pun. I walked over. I said, "What's up?" He's always been nice to me, man. Always, always, always. Uh, what's this? Richard Yarber. What up? Thank you so much for your contributions. It's happy birthday, DJ Kenny Parker. Thank you so much. And I've mentioned this on this channel before. I'll mention it again. The person I have to hit back that on my birthday, I always get a really nice phone call from the legendary MC Kool Mo D. Always takes out the time to call me. And it's such a special thing because not only is he a good friend to the family, but growing up as a kid, I could not conceive in my mind that Kool Mo D from the Treacherous Three would call me. The young kid in me who heard the Busy Bee versus Kool Mo D tape in the streets of Brooklyn could not conceive of that guy. The guy who made Feel a Heartbeat would call me to say happy birthday. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to Kool Mo D, man. Um, ICU breath, fully, what up? Um, let's see. Philly P says, yeah, King's son definitely has beef with Fat Joe, says he wrote Flo Joe for him. So I guess at that point they weren't beefing. I never knew they had beef. Flojo was a big record. I gotta do some research on that. JT, what did you do for your Earth Strong, KP? Just talk to a lot of friends, basically. Let me scroll down. Are you Magic Johnson's son? No, I am not. JT says, KP, your remix was way better than the original Yvette Michelle mix. Way better. I'd love a copy if anyone finds it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, JT. I think I have one copy I got from that time, like one. Um, But it was like I said, it was a promo. It never even came out, unfortunately. Concept says, "Peace, Kenny. A happy belated birthday. Thank you. Thank you for all the birthday shout outs. Thank you, Philly She. Thank you, Sydney Rhodes." Concept says, "Can you explain why KRS doesn't fly? I've mentioned that many times on this channel. He used to fly up until about 1993. Long story, I'm going to give you the short version of a long story. He had a couple of incidents on a plane, couple of scares on a plane back to back in 93, I believe. And after that, he was like, I'm not getting in a plane again. And he was dead serious. Rosmel said Peter Guns also has an epic fail story about Big Pun. That's funny. Shout out to Peter Guns. I was just chilling with him a few months ago, too. Good brother, Peter Guns. Um, always been a good dude. Uh, oh, we got another chat. Let me jump in here. Ilroy, thank you so much. Happy birthday, Kenny. I have an extra Karis reaction figure I can send you if you want it. Yeah, I do. I was just talking to Chris's wife when we was in Europe, and I was trying to get one of those action figures. She was like they was trying to get some, um, but they didn't have any. I do need that. Absolutely, I do. Um, we need to touch base because I absolutely need to get that from you. Robert says, I remember seeing Fat Joe on Arsenio front row spitting Flojo. That was a dope record. People, KP, do you fun of Peter for being on a reality TV? I guess you mean poke fun. No, man, get your money, man. First of all, do you know who the very first DJ and producer in hip hop history, in television history, to ever be on a reality show was? Yours truly, Kenny Parker, was on Real World Season 1, the first reality show, Episode 2. Shout out to my good friend Heather B, who texted me yesterday for my birthday. Shout out to Heather B, first African American female to ever star on a reality show, Real World Season 1. In one of the episodes, we were in the studio working on an album for Heather that never came out, and MTV followed us to the studio and filmed, and we have a whole segment with us in the studio. So I was on that episode. I say all that to say I don't knock anybody for trying any way to get a check legally, not jerking people. I don't like when people jerk people, and some people. I'm not with the buffoonery on TV though. Um, but that's subjective. What's buffoonery to one person is, you know, keeping it real to another person. But you have a short window, a very short window to get money in the music industry. And for a guy like Peter Guns, his music career was over, but there was still a window to get money. Go get your money, man. I don't knock people for trying to get money, not at all. And he probably got a nice check too. Um, Sydney Rose says, Real World, Heather B and Kevin Powell represent. Kevin Powell hit me up yesterday too. No, yeah, Kevin Powell sent me a message on Facebook for my birthday. Shout out Kevin Powell. Shout out to his moms too. I met his moms before. Yeah, man. One of the people that hit me yesterday. Anyway, thank you so much. Happy birthday, blessings. Thank you so much anyway. Much appreciated. You know how we do. Thank you. Um, Vincent Ross says, a belated love, light, and strength to you on your born day. Thank you so much, Vincent Ross, for your contribution to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so happy to be here and be alive. As we know, just this year, just last week, we've lost a bunch of people our age in just hip hop family people that didn't make it in 2026, 2025, 2026. And so just to be here and be alive, I have so much respect for life. I really celebrate every day as a birthday, tell you the truth. Um, Life is so special, man. And there's so many chances. We live in America. There's so many chances to do so many things, man. Even if you're older, it's never too late to do something and try something that you never got to do. Give it a shot. As long as you're here, you want to talk to somebody, holler at them, man. You never know if they're going to be gone. Just pick up the phone and say, yo, what's up? Or just send a text, yo, what's up, man? If you see somebody or even an artist, you don't know them or you see them or somebody and they did something you like, hey, man, how you doing? And shake their hand. Yo, I really like that song you did. I really like that movie you did. That's all. You don't got to take pictures. You don't got to do nothing. Just shake somebody's hand and give people love while they're here. I hate when people die and then everybody want to give them their flowers. Give them their flowers now, right now. If you like somebody, go on their page and tell them, yo, I love what you're doing. Um, that's just how I see it. And over the years, I've always seen artists, and if I like what you did, I'll walk right up to you and introduce myself and be like, I like this particular thing you did. It was dope. And 90% of the time, I've always got a positive reaction. There's been times when I've spoken to people and told them I like what they did, and they just didn't really reciprocate the energy, but that's okay. If somebody shows you love and you don't show love back, it's nothing wrong with the person who showed love. It's something wrong with you that you don't reciprocate love. But I just went on a little tangent, but um, yeah, every day is a blessing. Latrice says, I wonder what Special K and LA Sunshine are doing up to. Treacherous Street still do shows, so they still be with Mo D sometimes. Benny Doyle, a little in and out tonight. Happy birthday, DJ KP. We're going to chip in and buy you the robot from Rocky 4, but only if it sings Love is the House. Shout out to the Force MDs. Patrick Wise says, Kumo D, Melon Melon, and Casanova Fly. Lyrically, I'll put these three up against any other three in hip hop. As Modi said, let's go. Those were the first real three lyrical dudes. I'd imagine the pioneers, they're the pioneers of this. Um, let's see. Dre Stacks says, happy belated birthday. Thank you. Tracy says, wow, Kenny, first season? Cool. Yes, Tracy. And I have a song on that. Me and Heather were working on a song that we never even finished. But MTV recorded that like a minute of us working on an unfinished song. But the way songwriting and publishing works, once they aired it on MTV, that is considered a song. So I produced a song for the real world, technically, because they showed it. And because of that, I've gotten some nice checks. Nice checks. At the time when we did it, I didn't even know what publishing was. So we were uncredited as writers. They just had it blank. So we actually lost money because um, for those that don't know what publishing is, we talk about a lot on this channel. Publishing is every time a song is played on the radio, television, movies, basketball game, a play, anywhere where it's outside where your song is played, the person playing your song has to pay. And it's usually like a quarter, 25 cents, 5 cents, depending. If it's on TV, it's more. It's like $1 every time the song gets played. And movies is even more. But and the publishing goes to the people who wrote the song. And when they mean by write, you mean lyrics and music together. They're separate and together. Those are the writers. Who wrote the music and who wrote the words? Get the publishing. And that's where the money is. And that's the big fight. Um, and that's where most artists get jerked is due to the publishing. Now, when me and Heather did The Real World, it came out in like, I think it came out like late 92, but we recorded it in like early 92. And at that time, I didn't even know what publishing was. Keep in mind, I was working on music and had no idea what it was. And so we were never put down originally as writers. Years later, probably like 94, 95, when I had a lawyer and understood what publishing was, my lawyer was like, you have publishing on this. We need to go back and fix that. So we went back and fixed the song, fixed the writer's credits for MTV. And it turns out there was a check. They didn't know who to pay the money to, so they just put it in like escrow. But once we said, no, we're the writers, they gave us like a retroactive check, which was nice. And then we got checks later on. Checks keep coming. So I say all that to say, yeah, that Real World season 1 publishing check worked out pretty nice. Once I found out what publishing was. Latrice says, respect to Heather B. Yeah, shout out to Heather B. Um, how far behind am I? Oh, Cynthia, thank you so much, China Doll. Blessing upon blessings. Happy belated birthday. My birthday text to you was sitting in draft, and until this moment, wonder why there was no reply. Well, send it now, Cynthia. For those that don't know China Doll, I went to college with her, with China Doll, and we spent a lot of time together, especially my freshman year. Um, she's one of my really good friends. Um, and I used to be up at her dorm all the time. She used to make me food. That's a good person right there, China Doll. And we laugh on this channel. Me and her watched the end of Dallas finale when Bobby Ewing died, and Cynthia was crying. And I remember I looked over. I'm like, "Are you crying?" Cynthia was crying for Bobby Ewing. That's one of my favorites. Dallas is a top 5 favorite show for me of all time. But anyway, thank you, Cynthia. I really appreciate it. Um, I'm missing a lot of these chats, man. Let me go back over here because I'm missing them. Um, sorry, y'all, if I didn't see your chats. Uh, Sydney Rhodes says, thank you, Sydney Rhodes. Pin this on your shirt. You know how we do. Happy birthday, DJ Kenny Parker. We appreciate all you do. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you. JT, thank you so much. Hey KP, I know you don't drink, but could you buy a drink with this in NYC? Happy Earth Strong family. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Um, I will get something to drink. I will not. It will not be alcohol, but it will be something nice. Mr. Boricua, what up? Haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you so much. Okay, P, I'm late, but want to say happy birthday to you and me. July 9th also. Word? We born on the same day? Oh, that's dope. Courtney Love, Fred Savage, and the late great uh, O.J. Simpson. I think is it Mike Tyson born on our day too? Um, yeah. Thank you so much, Courtney Love. I didn't realize that. Did y'all see the conspiracy theory that um, my man from Nirvana might not have OD'd, but Courtney Love may have played a role in him being out? Did y'all see that conspiracy theory? And I'm going to say conspiracy theory. I don't want to put that out there. I don't know if it's true or not, but did y'all hear that? I'll be going down some rabbit holes on YouTube, y'all. YouTube will take you there. And the way that algorithm works is once you start looking at something for too long, they'll keep suggesting other stuff and just send you. You could spend 2-3 hours before you know it watching craziness. B-Boy Jones, thank you so much. Happy birthday, carrot cake or cheesecake on me. Carrot cake is my favorite cake of all. So I absolutely will get some carrot cake. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss any chats. Okay, let me make this bigger again. I'm missing some. Now I'm all over the place now. I'm gonna jump in right here with Tracy. I agree. Flowers now. Yeah, man. Give people flowers, even if they might not, even if they don't give you back what you give out, it's still cool. Um, there's nothing wrong with just saying, yo, I like what you do. Or I love you. I know you and I appreciate you. Or thank you for something that you did a while back. I never got a chance to thank you, but let me thank you now. Yeah, man. Um, City Rose says rant medallion post birthday. I don't have a rant today. Nothing has happened. You know, these rants that I come with, it's because I get triggered by certain things. You know, stuff that triggers me, y'all. And then I start getting going on a rant, but I'm not triggered at the moment. Oh, man. Tyrone Lemon, I want to see KRS-One versus Kumo D. Kumo D is such a good friend of ours, and we have so much respect for him that you will probably never see that. B-Boy says, sounds like you had a good attorney, KP. I had a good attorney for a while, then they turned whack. But my attorney was good because, you know, it's the best attorney? Attorney trying to get their own money. You got to imagine, an attorney gets a percentage of what you make. Sometimes 10, sometimes 15, sometimes 20, depends on what you negotiate. So it's in their best interest too to find your money because they got a cut in there. So yes, a good attorney is tremendously important in music. Attorney is as important as a producer. Anything else you can have, an attorney is equally as important. Um, but yeah, I had a good attorney at the time. But anybody else says, does escrow mean third party? I'm not a lawyer. Maybe I didn't use the word properly, but escrow means a a third person holds the money until whatever dispute it is settled. So say two people have a dispute over whose money it is, but the money is there. Somebody has the money. They want to pay it. They just don't know who to give it to. So they'll give it to a third party or somebody to have it there sitting there. So whenever these people uh, rectify their dispute, they can go to the third party and get the money. That's to me a layman's term. I'm sure a lawyer on here would say it better, but that's how I understand it. Do escrow funds accrue interest? I don't know. Probably. Everything accrues interest. Does anyone address you as Kenneth? No, only my mother. Marquise says, R.I.P. Coolio, 59, left behind a six-figure debt. Imagine that. He sold millions of records, number one songs, and owed money. I'm not saying that it was bad business or whatever, but how do you sell these kind of records and owe money? Um, Latrice says, thank you for feeding our boy China. Yes. I used to drop by Cynthia's door. Cynthia was a cheerleader too for the for my college too. Cynthia, I need to see them pictures, man. She got some good young 18-year-old KP pictures. I want to see those. You know, they're hilarious. Chandra says, laughing my balls. I cried real tears, not Bobby Ewing. Yeah, you was crying when Bobby died. You was crying. Oh, I was dying laughing, by the way. Patrick Ross says Mike Tyson is June 30th. He's also Tuesday. Oh, I thought he was the 9th. Oh, okay, my bad. YouTube is dangerous for folks who like to research. Yeah, because they'll send you there. And you got to be careful because everything has an agenda. But there's a lot of research on there. Kurt had a beautiful voice. Yeah, very troubled guy. Kenny, that Courtney Love theory has been around for quite a while. It certainly does look suspicious on her part. Yeah, it does. Based on, like I said, these documentaries, they have an agenda and they'll send you in a direction. But based on the direction of the things that I've seen, um, there's some suspicion there with Courtney Love. JT says China Doll is family. Can't tell me otherwise. She also got our Knicks. She's also our Nick's Lucky Charm. Got me through Game 4 comeback when I thought it was gonna have a heart attack. Yeah, once she clicked in, the Knicks started cooking. Yes, I may or may not have watched a Knick game at Cynthia's dorm back in the day. Joey Joe says, I try to stay away from all those music artists getting unalived by nefarious means conspiracies. Yeah, most of them seem a little shaky to me, but there's a handful that seem suspicious. I was watching something today. You know what's real suspicious? Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe's last days are very suspicious. Ah, Riding Dirty Face, thank you so much. Happy belated born day. You and your brother's music has made my life better. Salute. Thank you so much. And yeah, man, my brother's music and influence on my life made my life. The way I think, the way I approach things, the way I dream big, the way it's all because of him. From what he taught me and just watching him do the impossible over and over. He showed me how to DJ and gave me turntables. He showed me how to produce and gave me a SP 1200. He made me the DJ for BDP. Everything in my musical career started from him saying, "You can do this, and I'm gonna. Not only can you do this, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna help you. Go." And then he says, "Go," and then it's up to you to put in the work. But if you want to try something, he'll help you. Um, he is, for me, my brother Chris, he is my hero in so many ways. So, like you say, he's made your life better. He's made my life better too. He is truly an inspiration. You know, we're not perfect. He's not perfect. He's made mistakes. We've all made mistakes, but he has an amazing story. Pick up the book. The link is in the description below. Donna McCall says KP. So Mitch Roberts is signing signed with the Celtics. I think he was the weakest link. I don't think he was the weakest link. He was very important. He had flaws. You couldn't play him in the end of games because he can't make a free throw, although he had one of the biggest offensive rebounds in the history of Knicks basketball in that game 5. I forgot who it was that missed the free throw. Was it Hart? And Mitch Robinson just walked Wemby under the basket, strong armed him, and got that rebound and pitched it back out, and caused the Spurs to have to foul again, which pushed the lead to 4, which really sealed the game. He's a great offensive rebounder, one of the best in the league. He's excellent at rim protection, and he doesn't cry for the basketball. But you couldn't. He can't shoot a free throw, man. But they're gonna miss him. I don't think he was the weakest link. I can think of some other people on that team that I could see not being there instead of him. But I would have liked to see them running back with the whole team. But it remains to be seen. Can y'all believe that LeBron still hasn't picked a team? What a circus, man. What a circus. That just came to my mind just now. KP, DeMar DeRozan could be exactly what the Knicks need off the bench. I love DeMar DeRozan. Although I don't want to mess with that Knicks team at all. Tell you the truth, I would have loved to leave the team exactly how it is. The chemistry, you could tweak a little too much. One dude to come in there and throw everything off. I like the team exactly the way it is. But yeah, DeMar DeRozan, if he accepts that role, could be very important. CMC, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. When BDP was disbanded, did KRS decide to stop putting Overseen by Scott LaRock on his albums? No, I don't remember. You Return to the Boom Bap. Now I think Overseen by Scott LaRock is on everything. I would have to say I don't remember, but I think Overseen by Scott LaRock is on everything that Chris did, even Return to Boom Bap and those albums. The KRS-One solo albums, I think it's on there, but I can't remember off the top of my head. BDP disbanded. Yeah, man. The way you just said that is ill to me. I remember that whole conversation. Crazy. I just went somewhere for a second. $10. I have to get to my storage and check the Cratesville's pics. Yeah, sick. Come on, the world needs to see that. Hilarious. I know there's one. I know for a fact that there's one that you might have took. I don't know if you took it or you're in it, but of me sitting with all the cheerleaders um, at Seton Hall. I went with the cheerleaders to the game. This is before. This is when I was sitting out. But we went to the game, and I'm sitting with the cheerleaders, and I don't know if you're in it or you took the picture. And I'm sitting there. I got my leather goose bomber on and my leather matching hat. I was chilling, and I know Cynthia got that picture. I would love to see that. 18-year-old KP. Um, John Doss says, we watched the games. You told me all about your love for B. King. Memories. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We definitely watch games because Bernard King is my all-time favorite player. Whom, by the way, Patrick, why I have put Brunson over Bernard King. And that hurt me, but I'm being objective. Um, let's see. Joey Joe, last time I heard a conspiracy of Marilyn Monroe, they were saying the FBI unalived her because she had ties to the KGB and Russia. They would be wilding with these theories. Nah, there's something to that. She didn't have ties to KGB and Russia. She had interest in the Communist Party. And her husband, the playwright, I think it's Arthur Miller, was linked to the Communist Party. You know, back then, that was a very serious thing. She was also linked to the mob, Sam Giancana and all those guys through Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. And she was also linked to the Kennedy brothers, too. She was messing with some the most powerful people in the world. There's a lot of suspiciousness that went on with Marilyn Monroe's story. What an icon. You know, people like to throw the word icon around a lot, which I don't like. I don't like using that word. I reserve the word icon and I reserve the word genius. People throw those around, but there's very few people that fit that mold. Marilyn Monroe is an absolute icon. She hasn't been alive since 1963. When she passed, maybe 1960 before. Did she pass before Kennedy? She passed before Kennedy. So maybe like 1961 or something. And she's still a household name. She's still one of the most recognizable women ever. And she has not been alive for almost 70 years. She was an icon. But she got a little too. She didn't play. She got tired of being the side chick. She messed around with some powerful people and they treated her like a side chick. And she got tired of that and started to buck back, which you can't do in that world, from what I see. Charlie says, did you guys ever run into the band Sublime back in the day? They had a tribute song to your brother called Karis One. It's a dope track. Yeah, I remember that. I personally never ran into Sublime, but I think Chris had spoke to them. I remember they did a whole song dedicated to him. How far behind am I? Not that far. KP, you remember the song Mother Africa by Harmony? Vaguely, but yeah, shout out to Harmony. I haven't seen Harmony, Miss Melody's sister. I haven't seen Harmony since 91, maybe. I met a guy a few weeks ago in the street who was like, I used to date Harmony. I was like, oh, word. Was I ever in the I was not in the studio for any of Harmony's sessions. But I remember when she was recording her album, I was around. And of course, she used to do a bunch of shows with BDP. Um, Her name is Pam. Me and Pam were cool. You know, we didn't hang out or anything like that, but we were cool when I would see her. Yeah. Let's see. Philly She said nobody wants LeBron, and I'm so praying Bob Myers hasn't convinced him to come to my Sixers. You know, it's a shame because LeBron is an all-star. Just this past season. And yet what he brings, the whole circus that he brings would overshadow and be such a weight on any team that he goes to that it's very hard to want him. Now, you would want him on a team that's not doing anything, but he wouldn't go to a team that's struggling. He wants to go to a team with a chance to win a championship. But that'd be a top 5 or 6 team, and all of those teams, they don't really want that. Um, but we'll see. Maybe he'll go back to Cleveland and finish up there. Just, I don't know. It's just a lot. He comes with a lot, man. Right and Dirty Face, salute KP in the chat. Have a good night. Hit the like and subscribe. Yes, all of the above. Have a good night, man. Patrick Watson, LeBron loves the attention. He can do things quiet and discreet, but that's not his way. Yeah, he likes to control the narrative at all times and then not only control the narrative, but then tell you what that narrative is. And he loves being the center of attention. Like right now, he is dominating the free agent market. Everything is about LeBron at age 41. Um, Supposedly, LeBron about to sign with a team other than Cleveland. We'll see, man. Hope it's not the Knicks. How much does it cost to rent out Madison Square Garden? I have no idea, but it must be in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, there's a smaller part of the garden called the Paramount, which seats like 6,000. And then it's the big garden where the Knicks play, seats 18,000. No, 20,000. Is it 20,000? Something like that. I have no idea, but it must be a gigantic grip. Hundreds of thousands. Parsons says LeBron to Philly, make it happen. Be careful what you ask for. Bebo says, KP, you never go to see the Yankees or Mets? I went to no. I like the Yankees more than the Mets. I went to a Yankees game way back in the day, probably like what year was that? Probably in the 90s. And I forgot who I went with, but we it was one of those games that it was like 1-0 or 2-0. It was one of them kind of, it was a Yankees Boston game. I remember we left and went to the concession for a second. And the time that we went to the concession, somebody hit a home run. The Yankees, the only run of the game, we was at the concession stand. Um, but I haven't been to a Yankees game since. Benny Doyle says Bob Marley ended by the CIA. We'll never know. That's a little far fetched for me, but I don't know. Patrick White says Kid Capri is the only one I ever heard play Mother Africa. He even cut it up. Kid Capri is a family friend, man, and a great DJ, the greatest. I love that guy. Benny Doyle says Kenny sat out against Seton Hall, didn't want to guard Andrew Gaze. Actually, I did guard Andrew Gaze. my senior year, Benny Doyle. And he hit a 3-pointer in my face, too. I remember Andrew Gaze. The year that they won the championship, no, the year that they lost the championship in overtime, um, we played Seton Hall, my college, St. Peter's University. We played Seton Hall every year. They were our rivals. So we played them that year. We lost big, too. But I was cool with a few people on that team. I'm going to shout out, first of all, my man Gerald Green from Seton Hall. That is my dog. He's from around my way in Bed-Stuy, do or die, Brooklyn. I'm gonna shout out Darryl Walker. I'm trying to think who's on that team that was cool. I'm gonna shout out Darryl Walker. I'm gonna shout out um, James Major, who, by the way, hit me up on Facebook to wish me a happy birthday. Thank you to James Major. That's my man on that team. Um, who else was on that team? I mean, there's a few people on the team. Those are who I was cool with. I was cool with other people later on Seton Hall too, but at that time, that's who I was cool with on that team. But yeah, I held Andrew Gaze for about 3 or 4 plays. So what? Patrick Wise says the most famous blonde. Probably. If you want to argue who's more famous, Madonna or Marilyn Monroe, one of them two is the most famous blonde. Um, let's see. Sydney Rose says, I remember Pound Cake by Harmony. Yeah, that was the single. Benny Joe says, I'm just a patsy. Yeah, well, didn't my man who was accused of ending Kennedy um say that? I'm just a patsy. What's his name? How can I not remember the dude who shot Kennedy? Sometimes I be forgetting names. I remember faces and everything and can't remember the name of the guy who shot Kennedy, allegedly. Lee Harvey Oswald. Damn. Let me scroll down a little bit. I'm not that far behind though. Yeah, Donna McCall, R.I.P. Bonnie Taylor, who passed away this week. Yeah, total eclipse of the heart. Yeah, man. KP, was Castle D down with BDP? I met Castle D once. Kirk Dozier. I think he was down with BDP before. He was down with, they were before BDP, they were Scott LaRock and the Celebrity 3, and they were 1241. They had a couple of different versions of BDP before it became BDP. I think he was down with the BDP before BDP came out. Then he went to jail. So when BDP blew up, Castle D was in jail. He has passed away, I believe. Chandler says, not sure if you're aware, Coach Cornelli passed away. Yeah, I saw that on social media. Um, he was the women's coach at St. Peter's. Yeah, I did see that. Rest in peace, Coach Cornelli, who was always nice to me. Patrick Wise says it cost them $500,000 to rent out MSG. Man, shut the front door. I said, KP, the WNBA now compared to the WNBA then. Or what do you mean? You mean players or you mean visibility? You mean style of play? It's better now. The players are better now than they were years ago. Everything, I would say everything about the WNBA is better now than it was 20 years ago. But I mean, we could be more specific, but yeah. Patrick Watts says, KP, put that logo on a t-shirt. Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm gonna do that, and so we can have them put them out. I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt first for me, see how it looks. Um, Kid Capri had some health issues recently, but sounds like he's doing much better. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. It's 9:30. We are in overtime. For those that's new to the channel, we go to 9:30. Anything after 9:30 is considered OT. So let me do the promos real quick. This is the Kenny Parker Show, as you can see by the logo right there. Um, we do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit the Tracy thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm. Get the book. The link is in the description below. Get the audio book too with the same link. And big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out later on. Yeah. Markeith says Gerald Green couldn't buy a jump shot. No, no guard from New York could shoot. That was the problem in New York. We had great ball handlers. None of them could shoot a jumper. Not one. I think Kenny Anderson was decent, and that's why he lasted. Mark Jackson couldn't shoot. Chris Mullin helped him tremendously. You look at all the greats. Kenny Smith could shoot. But you look at all the great guards. That's what hurt Pearl Washington. Rod Strickland was shaky from outside. That's the New York thing. We go to the hole, man. Gerald the General Green. That's my man. I played against him in high school a few times. Sydney Webb KP, the new logo is fire. Thank you. Yeah, we might put it on the shirts. Philly, she said neither one of them are blondes, which makes that hilarious. Actually, yeah, neither Madonna nor Marilyn are actual blondes. So, but yeah. Lindell says, KP, you have a Facebook page? I do. DJ Kenny Parker. Everything I have on social media is DJ Kenny Parker. Patrick White, what about John Martin from the Bronx? Was he at Seton Hall when you played? Absolutely. All 4 years that I played in college, we were freshmen together. I played against John Martin a few times. Absolutely. Didn't know him though. Then afterwards, I was cool with the next wave of Seton Hall guys, like Terry DeHare. That's my man. Jerry Walker. Shout out Jerry Walker. That's my dude. Big Luther Wright. That's my dude, Lou B. Yeah, those guys, that Seton Hall team I was cool with as well. Shout out Seton Hall, man. Icon says, what's up, KP? I'm watching with my girlfriend now. Say what's up to Claudette. Claudette, what's up? Welcome to the Kenny Parker Show. We are in overtime, Claudette, so you're catching this late, but what up? Icon Poet is a regular here. So if you ever wonder where Icon Poet is on a Tuesday or Friday night, Icon Poet is here. What up, Claudette? Ilroy says, was listening to You Must Learn remix today. I miss the days when remixes had different lyrics from the original. I'm going to go out on a limb and say BDP was the first to do a remix. The remix to Still Number One, the numero uno remix, I believe was the first remix with brand new vocals. Now, someone could fact check me and see if somebody beat us to it, but that was in '88. And the You Must Learn remix was '89, also completely different beat and lyrics. But I believe one of BDP has done so many things first. Let me pick up my crew. But I believe that is one of them. Now, if somebody had a remix with different lyrics before 88, let's see. I'm sure Run DMC probably did it, but let's see. Cutie Pie, what up? Cutie Pie says forever's gonna start tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight. What is that? Is that Total Eclipse of the Heart? Well, Kenneth Smith says MSG for a private event costs 600 to 1 million a day. The price depends on day of the week, the duration, which often includes extra days for loading and tear down, and mandatory expenses. Jeez. Yeah, I said hundreds of thousands. I was close. We're in overtime, y'all. I think Kanye spent $1 million to rent out Oracle Park to propose to Kim, and that was like 15 years ago. Damn. Dudes just got money to do just any old thing, man. Patrick White, KP, why did you start shaving your head? Thinning hair like me or just easier to flow? Easier to flow. I just felt like I used to go to the barber shop every week, just spending money. Then I just started cutting it off and just like, started just cutting it off, being lazy. Free thinker, we talked about this last week. KP, what's the second part of the paid in full posse encounter you had with them? What do you mean second part? Oh, I said there was two people that I ran into on the back of that album cover, and I told the story of one of them. The second one, I might save that for an epic fail. It's not an epic fail, but it's a story. It's a whole story, an interesting one. I think I want to save it. But the back, like we was talking, the back of that album cover had legendary street people on it. There's at least two people on the back of that album cover that had whole documentaries about them. The original 50 Cent is on the back, and Rich Porter. The original 50 Cent must have at least two documentaries about him on YouTube. And Rich Porter has a whole movie about him, paid in full. That's just two of the dudes on the back of that album. I think Killer Ben is on the back. Is that mural of Killer Ben still up in Fort Greene? Or do they eventually take that down? It was up for years. Yeah, I did see this, China Dog. Can you believe Congress is going to investigate the violence against Caitlin Clark? All of the things going on in America, there's 27 million people in America with no health insurance. And they're worrying about an incident with Caitlin Clark. A person from Congress actually sent a letter to the commissioner of the WNBA talking about how they need to protect Caitlin Clark. What, are you kidding me? Wow. Let's see. We're in OT, y'all. We're right. I'm not that far behind. I'm pretty like a couple minutes back. Marquise the KP, did you play ball with or against Sadat X? I played with Sadat in a celebrity game. Matter of fact, the game that Puffy and Heavy D had that all of them people got ended. Y'all know the story about it was overcrowded and people got crushed. How many people passed in that? Like 14? The week before, there was a celebrity game at the same city college. I played, Sadat X was on my team, a couple of actors. I believe Charles Oakley was the ref. And then I was supposed to come back for that game, the Puffy game. They told me, invited me back, but we had a show, so I couldn't make it. But at that game was Sadat X. At the first one, the week before, Sadat X was on there. Hey, Boogie said, "Did you know Darryl Walker from Seton Hall?" Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I mentioned him. Darryl Walker was a cool brother. I used to see him all the time. I guarded him when we played Seton Hall. Strong inside player. He's a little bit taller than me. He was the New York State basketball player of the year. We all came in as freshmen in college. Me, Darryl Walker, Gerald Green, John Morton, James Major. We all came in as freshmen. DJ Lou B, the world's tallest DJ. Yeah, man. Luther Wright was though. He would rather be a DJ than play in the NBA. Shout out to Lou B, man. I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's doing well. Kenny, I picked Andrew Gage so randomly and it completely backfired. Yes, that was 89 that Michigan beat Seton Hall in overtime. Yep. We played them that year. And I started in that game. Petrarch, best shooters for New York City, Mullen, Kenny Smith, and Steph Marbury. New York City, we play outdoors, and the best defender is Mother Nature. Yeah, man. Shoot a jumper with the elements and see what happens. Yeah, we all played outside, and not only was it hard to shoot outside, and most of the rims had no nets on them. It was just rim. But also, that was considered a bad shot. With the game on the line, we used to be like point game. If the game was 11 or 15 or whatever, when somebody got to 14, point game, meaning next point wins. There's no way that she would shoot a jump shot. That would be considered a terrible shot. You took it to the hole and you was going to get fouled. Nobody was giving up a layup. So you had to learn how to score through contact. And I think I was a very good scorer with contact because of my years playing in New York City, Brooklyn playgrounds. You couldn't call foul. You just had to take it in there, get beat up, and still score. But yeah, Steph could shoot too. That's what made him a great player. He had all of the traditional New York basketball talent, and he could shoot. Um, Gregory Nett says Kenny is not bald; it's just a wig. Yes. Marquise says I'm related to the original 50 Cent. Wow. I know you got stories. Let me scroll down a little bit. We're in overtime, y'all. I'm just getting these last little comments in. Marquise, do Sadat X got game left-handed, right? I don't remember if he was left-handed or right-handed, but yes, he can play. Absolutely. As is Sed G from Ultramagnetic. He could play too. Do you know if your brother KRS is going to release a physical copy of the My Philosophy book? There are physical copies. I was supposed to grab one when I was in Europe and I forgot. I saw a box with physical copies. Don't know if they're going to be released, but they exist. A Boogie says, dope. Daryl's brothers, Charles Walker, was my teammate at All Hallows in the BX. Dope. Shout out to Daryl Walker if you ever see him. I haven't seen him in decades, but he was cool. KP, do Buckshot live in an RV? I have no idea, Markeith. If I knew that he lived in an RV, I wouldn't say that on social media anyway. But to be honest, I have no idea. As far as rap remixes with new lyrics, BDK's Raw had a new verse at the beginning, but the rest of the verse the same old lyrics. But did that come out or was that later discovered? Was there a Raw remix that came out with the new verse, or like the people heard like demos? Because wasn't there a Raw with Coogee Rap on it or something? That's the question. If so, then that would predate I'm Still Number One. Oh. Yo, Kenny, how do you feel about drill music? Terrible. I don't disrespect anyone's art. Like I said, everyone has the right to express themselves any way they can. But these guys are talking about real life crimes that happen, and rap is based on who's the toughest in the street, and people talk about all kind of things. But these guys are actually going to jail for the lyrics that they are talking about. They're talking about real crimes that really happen and mocking each other. That's when it goes too far, I think. But I'm an old man, so what do I know? But I'm not a fan of drill music. That's real crimes and real endings. Since Luther's in North Carolina with his sister, as per the last article I read, he really suffered with mental health and substance abuse. He was being VI. I don't know what VI is, but that's good to hear. That's my homie, man. Roberta, are you gonna play music for us to hear? Well, the music that I have, I usually put it on my I have a segment called uh my beat series. And so I have beats and I put it up on here for you guys to listen to in a separate section. I don't like to play music while I'm talking. It's just not my thing. But if you check out my beat series, there's a bunch of beats on there. And I said I was gonna post one this week, but instead I posted the epic fail, but I'm gonna post one. Um, we're in OT, y'all, getting the last comments in. I'm almost at the bottom. Philly C said the Raw remix was Long Live the Kane. The original was on a Colors soundtrack. I think Still Number One was before that. Kenny Parker, do you consider P is Still Free a remix or a continuation? I could think it's a continuation. Yeah. Especially that came out, the P is Free. The original one was on the back of South Bronx. That was D Nice doing the beatbox. The one that came on the Criminal Minded album with the actual track is the remix. That's a remix of the one that was on South Bronx. So that's not even the original. That's the remix. That was 87. And then the P is Still Free came out in like 93. So like 7 years later. So yeah, I would consider that a um continuation. Philly C, nah, KP is talking about the Raw mix with Cool G Rap on it. G Rap absolutely went off and buried Kane, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that was like a tape. I'm not sure how that got out. Parsons, that epic fail beat was fire. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. They thought it was fired loud too. Um, John F. Kennedy is the biggest controversy ever. Gergen, yeah, I would say out of conspiracy theories, um, American conspiracy theories, I would have to say JFK is the biggest. 9/11 is big. JFK is the biggest. Yes. And I don't believe that was a lone gunman either. I mean, the investigations that they had 2 years long investigations, and one of them was like, yeah, it was a lone gunman. The first one that they did, but then the second one that they did later on concluded that there's a strong possibility that there was a conspiracy. Now, who and what they didn't say. Oh wow, Reggie underscore 1023. Thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Big up to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, let's see. At Kenny Park, Kara said that my philosophy was a remix of poetry, didn't he? I've never heard him say that. That don't even seem like a remix to poetry to me. Different beat, different rhymes, different song title. No, nah. To me, no, but he could have said it. The moon landing is another big conspiracy. Yes. Did we really land on the moon is a big one. Yes. I think JFK is even bigger than that, but that's a big one too. Yes, JT, I agree. KP, Trafficante Jr. and J. Edgar Hoover are behind JFK's killing. Some people say that. Trafficante was mad that he got deported. Is that the guy who got deported? And that was like revenge? There was a lot of people that wanted JFK though. A lot of people. I'm at the very bottom. Reggie says we both graduated from Lincoln High School in '84. Oh, mine's is in Philly. Get to add these words in super chat. Yeah. Oh, I was about to forgot to. Oh, forgot to add these. Oh, I was about to say we graduated from Lincoln at the same time. Like, do we know each other? But you said yours is in Philly. Oh man. Um, Big up to my high school, Abraham Lincoln. Big up to the rail splitters. Um, let's see. I'm at the bottom, so let me go back a little bit. Um, I'm getting all the comments in real time. There are primarily 2 official versions of Rock the Bells, the album version, which appears on the '95 album Radio, and the original version, which was only released on the 12-inch. I can hear that, B. Bull Jones, but I wouldn't consider one the remix of the other. I think there were 2 versions. Still number one, numero uno remix was absolutely that, the remix to that song. First of all, there weren't that many remixes in the '80s, but BDP did the remix with similar beat. The beat was remixed, but it was still number one with whole new lyrics with Chris going at the poet. Remember the poet who tried to diss? Chris went at him. Um, I don't know if I consider this Rock the Bells a mix and a remix. 2 separate versions to me is a little bit different than a remix. Rock the Bells Marley mix. That would be a remix. Marley mix, or did he change the beat? If 2 people mix the same song, that's not a remix. Patrick Y. KP, did St. Peter's ever play FDU when you were there? Every year. I was cool with a few of them guys. First of all, 2 of my high school teammates went to FDU. Shout out to Maury Riddick, who is the second leading scorer and rebounder in the history of Fairleigh Dickinson University. That was my teammate in high school. And of course, my man Glenn Pooh Harding, who has his channel Basketball Heads. He also went to FDU, played on a team, and my man um, Larry Screen, Carlton Screen's brother, Paco's brother, also was at FDU and played. We grew up together. Um, and another guy named Eddie Jones, who was at St. Peter's, but he transferred to FDU. He also was there. First of all, Eddie Jones is the two funniest people I ever met in my entire lifetime that I can say with confidence. It's not Eddie Jones, his name's Eddie Brown. Bugging. Eddie Brown, who was on my team as a freshman and transferred to FDU, and Biz Marquis are the two funniest people I've ever known in my life. Um, Bebo says, I can't get enough of this nerdy old school hip hop chat. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, this is what we do here at the Kenny Parker Show. We get real deep and nerdy. That's why I say this channel is for a certain kind of hip hop head and a like minded individual because we get super nerdy here. And I love it too. I love all the little intricacies and little facts and dates. I love timelines. I like my dates to add up. Yeah, B-Ball, I love all this too. We're in OT. I'm about to jump off in like 4 minutes. Still number one remix is fire. Chris was styling on Poet. Yes, he was. Best remix, Flavor in Your Ear remix, in my opinion. So you talk about best remix with the same beat? Because there's been some crazy remixes. Scenario remix is one of my all-time favorites. The choice is yours, Black Sheep. The hit version is actually a remix. Everyday People, Arrested Development is actually a remix. So there's been a few. Hydro Honda, what's up? Your previous story about Funk Flex and Big Pun, you said it could have been life-changing. I just wanted to say that you and the whole BDP crew was life-changing for many of us living in the moment. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I was blessed to be a member of a legendary, game-changing crew called Boogie Down Productions. And one of the highlights of my life being part of that crew for many years, for decades. I'm still part of the crew. Technically, BDP doesn't exist anymore. BDP crew exists. Boogie Down Productions doesn't exist. But I'm still down with BDP forever. Um, and it was game changing for me in the moment as well. So thank you, Hydro Honda. We got like 2 minutes. We're in overtime. Isaiah Winbone, what up? Public Enemy Shut 'Em Down remix. Now, that is a great, great, great remix. Yes. Benita Applebaum Hootie mix was dope. You mean the one, yeah, fire. The one with the Between the Sheets? Benita Applebaum, hey hun, that was dope. Dope remix. Dope remix. P. Diddy said he invented a remix. He should have remixed his life and treat people better. Yeah. He did not invent the remix. That was propaganda. Wake Up in the Sunshine remix was and still dope as hell. Poop I Liquid laid down the lesson. Shout out Jazzy. That was a dope remix too. Um, Pete Rock got some great remixes in his arsenal. Yes, he does. We could do a whole segment on just the greatest remixes ever, because there's been some great ones. some great ones. I really want to touch on. We should do that on Tuesday because I want to touch on. But I mean the ones that really changed the whole song. Like there are some songs that were not big or not hits or album cuts, and somebody remixed it, and it became gigantic. Like really true greatest remixes. Actually, Eric B and Rakim remixed Paid in Full, but they used the same lyrics though. That was an early remix when they added the Arabian lady in there. Um, yeah, I want to touch more on the remixes. It's 10 o'clock, y'all. I'm jumping off, but I want to touch more on the remixes on Tuesday, God willing, if we're all here. This is the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday, belated birthday. Thanks for all the chats. I think I got all of them in. Oh, there's one I missed. Did I miss one? No, I got them all. Yeah. Thank you for everybody who wished me a belated birthday. If you did not see the epic fail big pun, please go check that out. Um, and we'll be back Tuesday. I think I'm gonna drop a beat in my beat series. I haven't dropped a beat in a while. I think I'm gonna drop a beat in the next couple days. So this is the Kenny Parker Show, y'all, and I will catch you guys on Tuesday. Peace.